Well,
Everybody muted.
have your extra care card. Please place your.
Shit, man. Fucking difference, man. That's about one of them, man. My other song came out. Let me play that one. Yeah, man. That ain't meant to be. It
How do I
ain't
mute
meant to be.
everybody? And, what the hell is going on?
Ah,
All right,
man,
here
man,
we go.
man.
What was the number, Skin? None of mine?
Mine that I didn't play, 782 and 9805.
Oh, you got a lot of
Damn,
numbers.
man. I played some junk. I thought I played it, but I ain't played that one. Ain't that
All right, mute your mics. I'm going to hit record. Oh, it's already recording. We're a minute in. So ahead, mute yourself. We're going to get this hot-ass theme song going, and then we're going to jump right into it. If we can get Dante in there, we get Dante in there. Let me see. He's still in the waiting room, but it ain't showing. Let's see. Let's see. Guess. Play a sound with guest and guest must authenticate. Okay. Layouts. I got that. All right, well, if he can get through, he'll get through. All right, let's get this thing started.
Sideline to the suite, players and executives meet, talking about dubs and defeats. Sideline to the sweet. From sideline where the players at, to executives up in the suite, talking about practice. Say I'm heat, playoffs, they can't compete. I want winners that wanna win, fall down, get back up again. Talking sports, gon' tell a friend about sideline to the suite. Sideline to the suite, players and executives meet, talking about dubs and defeats. Sideline to the sideline to the sweet.
We are back. Welcome to the Sideline to the Sweet Sports Podcast. That's more like a show. And boy, do we got a hot show for you today. I am your glorious host, T.D. Stroman III. Welcome to the Sports Podcast. That's more like a show. Oh, man, we're going to get it started. We are back. This is our first video episode, and we're going to do it Huddle style. We're going to bring some special guests. Like I like to have people on here that's fans. People that's, if you're an executive, if you're a player, or if you're just a staunch, cold fan of a team, I want to have you here on the Sideline to the Suite, because nowadays, anybody's opinion is a good opinion. If you got a hot take, I want to have you on the Sideline to the Suite. If you got some good sources and some good point of views, I want to have you on the Sideline to the Suite. If you want to be a part of the Sideline to the Suite, this is what you need to do. I need you to call 443-431-9286. Again, that number is 443-431-9286. If you want to be a guest on the Sideline to the Suite, you ain't got to be an executive. You ain't even got to be a player. You ain't even have to play before. But if you know sports, if you think you got what it takes, you've been watching LaShannon Sharp or Skip Baseless or Stephen No Smith, if you think you are one of them, we got the platform for you. This is the Sideline to the Sweet Sports Podcast. That's more like a show. So first and foremost, we're going to get this thing moving and grooving. Oh, man, we got some great people in the house. These are some great fans. They are fans of all type of teams. So we're gonna bring them in one by one. Let them introduce themselves. Let them get there. The reason why they're gonna have some hot takes. Before we get there, I want to tell you why we're here. So we about to talk about the state of football on all levels, from the NFL to the NILs to even a little bit of hot takes. We're gonna do a hot topic. What's going on with Brett Favre? We're gonna also talk about what about fantasy football? Is it ascending? Is the NFL still ascending as a king of sports? And what about the concussion? We've been hearing about the concussion. Is that still a threat to taking down the NFL? So that's some of the conversations we're going to have here on the Sideline to the Suite in our first video edition of the Huddle. So make sure you step back, relax, watch us on YouTube, Facebook, or wherever you get your videos. Make sure you subscribe to Sideline _to the Suite. Let me say that again. Sideline _to the _Suite _podcast on IG, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere you go at. All right. If you can't find it, just hit us up at 443-431-9286, and we'll make sure you like it. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, do all those good things. So now I've got all that out the way. Let's get to our guest. First and foremost, we're gonna add Mr. Ryan Breadhead Wallace. He's coming out of. Where you coming out of Breadhead Wallace? Give you a chance to introduce yourself. Why do people want to hear your sports take on sports, man?
Well, first of all, this is Brian, aka Bread, out of PG's finest, PG County, Maryland, man. What I bring to the table is, man, I bring some real good insight knowledge about this game, man. I've been a fan of it for years, man. I think I could bring a lot to the table. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I hear that. Now let's bring down. Who are you a fan of?
Oh, the Commanders. I believe all of Washington teams, all Washington area teams, man.
So how you feel about the name? Before we even get started, how you feel about the name? Y'all done went from the Skins to the WTFs to now the Commanders.
Look, I mean, initially I wasn't for it. I was just like, man, leave it the way it is. But I always want to look at things like, if the shoe on the other foot, how would I feel if it was something, offensive to,
like it was called the red N-words.
Right, exactly. So I got to look at it from that standpoint. Like, all right, if it was something racist against us or offensive against us, we would probably want to change. So I'm cool with it. It don't matter to me. It's the same team. I don't even care.
It's the same team and the same owner. We'll get to that too. We'll get the little dance night too as well. But we're gonna make sure we get the introductions, keeping it going. We got a lot of I think we might have a lot of fans of the Commanders. We're gonna go to Nate Stroman Jr. Can you unmute yourself, Nate Stroman Jr.? Tell the people who's your fan of and why you're a fan of that team and who you are. Get your rocks off.
What's going on, Nate Stroman? My favorite team is the Seattle Seahawks, and
hold on. First and foremost, why are you a Seattle Seahawks fan?
When they were first playing, I fell in love with their jerseys. They're bright neon jerseys. And then the next game, I saw them wearing the blue jersey, so it was really a jersey thing. And then I just caught on with the players, and then now I'm just a Seahawks fan, no matter what.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say, I am a fan of the Seattle Seahawks because of their jerseys. I rarely even see anybody outside of Seattle with a Seahawks jersey. But look, man, that is the reason why you're a fan, and we appreciate it. If y'all don't know, this is my cousin. He always got a lot of stuff to talk. We in fantasy football together. Mm-hmm. He wanted my luck one time. So we're going to keep this introduction going. We're going to go down to my bottom right, to my man, Lawrence Skin Edmonds. Introduce yourself. Tell people your opinion, where you're from, and why they need to hear your sports takes.
Lawrence Edmonds. I'm from South PG. That's what I'm calling it right now. I'm a fan of all the Washington teams besides one that would be the Florida Gator football team. I fell in love with my Steve Spurrier back in the 90s. That's how I became a fan of Florida. But everything else, I'm a local joker. You feel me?
So you are. So when it comes to football, you are a Commanders fan.
Commanders
football team, aka the R word. And you are a Florida fan. How did you become a Florida fan? When made you get a Florida fan? Do you know the year that you became a Florida fan?
About 93. Hey,
okay, it was really good.
Steve Spurrier's style and his cockiness, man, was next level, though, man. So I kind of, I got attracted to that, brother.
So did you like when Steve Spurrier was here? The football coach was not here. We are live at the Inconvenient Truth LLC studios. I forgot to plug that. We are live at the Inconvenient Truth LLC studios. What about Steve? What about Steve Spurrier? Did you like him when he was a Commanders coach or the Redskins?
Yeah, for 6 weeks.
For 6 weeks.
When
they played 16 games, bro. He was only fan.
I was only a fan for 6 weeks, man. After that, it was time for him to go.
That's what we want. We want honesty over here at the Sideline to the Suite. We don't want no narratives, no biases. Tell the people why you are a fan and why they want to listen to your sports take. All right, so our last guest is the OG of the panel. Want to give it up for Andrew Mousy Green. Unmute yourself so we can get the word of why they want to listen to your sports takes.
Hey, I'm Andrew.
From and who you fan of?
Oh, hello. How y'all doing? I'm Andrew. I'm from Southeast DC. I'm a big Commanders fan. Been a fan since the Joe Theismann and John Riggers days. So I go way back. So I'm a big fan of sports. I love to talk sports. And that's it.
Hey, that's what we love to hear. So you've really been a fan. You was a fan before the mediocrity the last 20 some odd years.
Yeah, man. I was used to winning, man. This new stuff, I ain't used to this.
Okay. And you're not used to 11-game winning, 11-game win season or 12.
Yeah.
No NFC championship games since watching.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay, man. I feel you, man. It's
been depressing the last what?
Man, it's been real.
Since Dan Snyder had it, man.
But y'all money and the value of your team is still going up somehow. Y'all like the East Coast cowgirls, cowboys.
Man,
So somehow, some way. I'm just messing around. I love y'all, man. Y'all got to get to 5. You're still at 3, but one day you'll catch up. All right, here we go. So we
keep taking shot at us, man. Come on, man.
Seattle Seahawks. You're in the same conference. We got to play y'all on Christmas Eve. I am a biased 49ers fan. I've been a 49ers fan since I know I was. But we have been in the NFC Championship game, Super Bowl. We have lost though, so I can't really say too much. All right, so we're gonna get this conversation going. I want to make sure y'all bring the heat, man. I kind of talked to y'all, gave y'all some of the questions we're gonna talk about. So bring your thought process, and your viewpoint on all these. So first and foremost, I want to ask the state of the NFL. We've been talking about the NFL that they're getting too big. Now we at 17 games. We on Thursday nights. We on Saturday nights. We on Christmas Eve. It seemed like football. Now we on Amazon Prime. You can get an NFL Plus pass. It seems like whatever you want NFL, it is seem like it's on multiple times a week now. So how long do you think the NFL reign as the king of sports will continue? Because right now, if you look at the NFL, it's like the NFL and there's all the other major sports combined trying to catch the NFL by themselves. So how long do you think that the NFL will have that market share on American sports? I'm going to come to you, Nate Stroman, because you're the youngest one on the panel. How long do you think the NFL reign as the king of sports? Do you think it will continue? Do you think it will keep ascending? Do you think it's coming down? What's your first thought?
I think it would always be the king, to be honest, because I feel like once Super Bowl happens in February, the only thing they're looking forward to is the next season to start up. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no other sports really in summer besides baseball and a little bit of basketball, but everyone kind of looks forward to, seeing back to football. You know what I'm saying? So I think they'll always be the king no matter what.
They will always be the king. All right, let me go to Ryan. We kind of talked about this early today, and I want to get your viewpoint. As we was prepping for this huddle. If you want to be a part of Huddle, again, hit us up at 443-431-9286. Red, what is your thought process? You think that the NFL is getting too big? I remember Mark Cuban made a comment about 5 years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, that they're gluttony, they're getting greedy, and it seemed like they still eating though. Mm-hmm. It seemed like they still eating. So where do you stay with it? You think the NFL is continuing their ascension to being the sports reign?
I don't think there's no limit when it comes to the NFL, man, especially when you got this sports betting, you got this fantasy. That stuff is just taking it to a whole nother level. I don't think there's no stopping it at this point. Once sports gambling has been legalized and now they're making it legal in almost every other state, that just put it over the moon right there. So I think as far as where it's going, I don't think there's no limit to where it's going to go. I don't think it's nothing they can do wrong right now. Even if they add an 18th game, I think people will still love it no matter what.
And why do you think that? You think because it's such a long pause, like Nate was saying, that after the Super Bowl, it's a long
No,
pause.
the product.
February all the way to September.
No, the product itself is great. Like I'm quite sure we might get into it, but when you're talking about NBA, as far as how it's getting watered down with all the stars teaming up and people getting irritated with that, with the baseball, how long the season is and how slow in general the baseball game is. You know, this generation now, they ain't got time, they ain't got patience to sit there and watch baseball. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the product itself is just unbelievable. Like it's not going away. Like it's a money printing machine.
You think it's a money print? They always say, nothing's never too big to fail. Nothing's never too big. At one time, we thought AOL wouldn't go nowhere. We thought Yahoo wouldn't be down below Google and Apple, but they are. So
okay, but my question on that is, who would take it over then?
No, I mean I'm just being the contrarian. You know, the NBA is losing out against the NFL in preseason game with their Christmas Day games, and that right there, I just saying I got to make sure. One thing you got to do nowadays, you got to check your sources. You got things like Ball Sack Sports that's out here getting people cock sources. They just throwing stuff out there, messing with people. Got ESPN going with things that's not even true. So let me look that up and make sure that's correct. But I read somewhere that the NFL won with a Lions versus Steelers preseason game, outrated the NBA Christmas Day games in 2021 from this preseason game. So I'm with you. I'm just saying, I'm just stating. So let me get to you, Lawrence Skin Edmonds. You are a diehard Commanders fan as well. I promise y'all, I did not want all these Commanders fans, but you know they won week 1, so now they will be everywhere. You know what I mean? What is your opinion on it? How long do you think the NFL reign as the king of sports can continue?
It's gonna reign. It's gonna reign as long as the league is in existence. Until somebody actually maybe die on the field, this thing gonna be number one in the United States for a very long time. It wasn't like that back in the 60s and 70s, back when it was baseball was the number one sport or horse racing. But now, ever since the 90s, this thing took off, and I don't see nothing slowing it down right now. Besides something catastrophic happened on the field, something like that.
And it seems I don't even know if that's gonna be it. I mean, think about some of the things we've seen. I mean, we had one. What was that? Myles Garrett literally almost hitting people with the helmet. Now he didn't.
I mean, we had paralyzations. I mean, that's the closest thing we've gotten as far as like with somebody losing their life right there on the field. But like I said, it's got to take something seriously catastrophic for this train to get knocked off the track, though, man.
And you know what? That is a good segue, because what my next question to you is the thing that we thought they actually had a movie about it. You've seen the great Will Smith before he was slapping other comedians was doing. We have now seen the concussion scandal play out for a while now. We've actually have seen the concussion scandal. We've seen players now be caught for fraud on the concussion scandal, but it has not stopped this pig from getting fatter.
But here's my thing on that. Players will still rather get hit up high in their head versus getting their legs taken from them. And that's crazy. You can come back from concussion in 1 week. You break an ankle or whatever, you might miss half the season. I don't think the players really mind that concussion stuff, though, still, though, man.
Oh, I mean, I think I'm 100% with you, because as long as the check come with the concussion, I think they're good with it. But if the check ain't coming with the concussion, that's where the issue being. Because if you notice, it seemed like, let me come to you real quick, Brett. It seemed like the more the issue with concussions wasn't necessarily NFL players that was more concerned with it. It looked like it was the youth and the amateurs that the mom's not gonna want their kids to be in it. How are we going now? I remember it was a purpose where they're trying to teach and outlaw certain hidden skills early on in the game. So, Brett, what do you think that's gonna go with? You think that we've been in this space now with this concussion thing for a while, and it seemed like it hasn't gotten it down?
Well, with that being said, I think what we're talking about, that's definitely affecting college. You see with these jokers getting these target penalties and getting out for the game, like I think that's a a bad penalty. Like it's a terrible rule. You know, like you're getting these kids. First of all, in college, you ain't got but so many games to prove your worth and your draft status in college, and you getting these jokers throwing them out of the game off of a hit. Talking about he targeted when you got a split second to make a move, and the offensive player can move his head or turn his body at the last second, but you're supposed to adjust. Like, that's not possible. It's not physically possible. You know what I'm saying?
It's been something that I thought you couldn't. And then it was, I think that one, what was it, the LSU Florida State? I thought that was he could have did something better than that. I mean, that was clearly targeting. I mean, it's certain ones I agree with you. It's when, like, if he's ducking down and I'm trying to go high, how am I supposed to do something with it? I mean, I might have left and I'm looking at his stomach and he's coming down lower and I'm gonna hit him head to head. Those ones right there, I definitely understand.
Right.
Let me come to you, Andrew. You kind of an old school OG of this group. What do you feel about the concussions? You probably was watching this when they had the leather helmets and stuff, so concussions a lot sooner. What do you feel about it? You think concussion is going to be something that takes it down? Because that was the one. I mean, we've seen a player literally come to Kansas City to the domes off the concussion after shooting his family up, and nobody blinked the eye. We was okay. Thoughts and prayers to the family. Game goes on. We've seen a lot of different things. Let me hear from you.
Well, I think when the movie came out, I thought it was going, that it was going to take it down, but it didn't happen. So I think they can still be throwing, the flags and stuff like that, fast, you know what I'm saying, hammer hits. But I don't think it's going to never stop the NFL, man. I think the NFL is going to always be the number one sport. So I thought when the movie came out, I thought, that was going to be one of the reasons, to take it down, but it didn't happen that way.
It seemed like it didn't even take none of the sell out. Like how like Skip was saying, it didn't even, I mean, it felt like it was a crescendo coming, but I mean, I haven't heard, I mean, maybe it's me. I know COVID happened. That happened, so that kind of took over. I mean, we had a lot of COVID restrictions and we was doing things of that nature, but outside of that, I haven't heard anything about the concussion. But I want to get to another thing that you spoke of. I think it was it you, Lawrence or Brett? We talked about the NILs with the college. What do you think that's going to do for the NFL now? I mean, just for the state of football. What's your first thought process now that we've been in the NILs for probably about what they did it in June? They gave them rights that it was going to be your name, image, and likeness was going to be able to be profitable off of. I was watching Deion Sanders' son, and he at Jackson State. Man, he looked like he cashed up like he young Dolph. I mean, God bless the dead. He got the during the game. He had the money sign with the AP. What do you think what's going to happen with the NILs, Bray? How you think that's going to happen? You think that's going to increase the popularity, or is it going to start eroding the amateur level of the NFL?
I mean, now are you asking how does that relate to the NFL or the college itself?
Just the state of football. Just the state of football. Now remember, think about this. I don't mean to cut you off. Think about this. Now we at the amateur level. If you look at all the major sports, the one that probably has their pipeline the best is probably NFL. They the only ones they make you stay 3 years.
Right.
But no other sport has that. I don't know how they do that. I mean, you can go to the Army, you get a gun, you can do everything, but you cannot go to the NFL unless you're 3 years out of high school. So what do you think first and foremost, what do you think the NIL going to do for college? And then how do you think it's going to affect the NFL moving forward?
Well, I mean, the only thing I can think of how it would affect the NFL, first of all, obviously all college players won't get to the NFL. The only way I think it would affect it, and we saw it the last, I guess, few years of some college players sitting out their third year because they didn't want to get hurt or something like that. I could see more players doing that, being as though they're getting paid now. So they're able to go ahead and basically, I don't even know if you want to call it a risk, sitting out. They know they're going to be a top 10 pick. I can see more players sitting out their third year just to save their health for their draft status.
And that's that's another good observation, because I want to get to one more. We're gonna come to that you said they might be taking themselves out. Let me get to you, Nate. You the young one. in this group, and you rounding that age that if you was playing football right now, how do you feel about getting in the game? Do you think people in your age group is still wanting to play it, or are they looking at other sports?
I think they would still want to play it because the NIL, the money, because I'm pretty sure the money is guaranteed. I'm pretty sure, because one of my things is like, look at one of the quarterbacks from LSU. He had an NIL deal and he just walked away because he got all that money. But yeah, people want to get into the sports now. They want to get into basketball. They want to get into football because you can get paid even if you're good, you could get paid like from an NIL. So why not get into the sport?
Why not get into the sport? I hear that. So let me get to you real quick. Again, Lawrence Edmonds. What's your thoughts on the NIL? Do you think it's gonna start affecting it to the NFL? Because the question, the thought process that bred your last thought was that you're starting to see a lot of players stopping, not playing in the championship game or a bowl game if it's not a championship game. But now they have increased it, where they're gonna bring 12 playoff teams. I think that was in concert because of the NILs.
Well,
I got to
absolutely.
try to keep you in. So, what's your first thought process on that one? Ed?
I mean,
Okay.
I think NIL, it could be good and bad for the sport of college football. I mean, the players should have been getting paid years and years ago. Let's be honest, man. Especially like the football player. I mean, I don't want to just narrow it down to the football players, but they are the sport who makes and generates the most money for these universities, though, man. But
Preach on that one.
now that on the bad side, the NIL, now these players, they just gonna look for the highest bid. Now that it's legal, if I can get a 1.5 million guarantee from Alabama, or I can get 2 million, or USC saying I got 2 million for you, and you can come to Los Angeles. What you think they're gonna do? Especially if you're coming from the hood, when you ain't seen nowhere near that type of money in your life.
And you're not even
get on that plane ride.
You're not even guaranteed.
Say it again.
You're not even guaranteed to see that if you don't make it to the NFL. And people be thinking
they said
don't make that in the NFL.
They said that the girl from UConn will make more money in college than she will in the WNBA just off the NIL, man.
Just off the NIL. So now that we speaking on
Ain't
the
that
NIL,
something?
that is definitely something. That is definitely something. So now that we speaking on the NIL, how everybody here, I think everybody here is in my fantasy football league. If you haven't, we're going to drop the fantasy draft. The fantasy draft show. We're going to drop that too on the Sideline to the Suite Sports Podcast. It's more like a show. What do you think that fantasy football has done to NFL being ascending? Fantasy football been around now almost 30 years. How long has fantasy football been around? You might know. I remember when was our first time we did it, Lawrence? It was like 2002. I know I was in school when we did one.
But it was around before that though.
It was like
they did 30 for 30 on fantasy.
It was like 2000, 2001. The first one we did, I was still living at home with my mother. Yeah. So that was like 2000 or 2001.
I think it was 2001 or 2002 when I first did on like NFL.com, I think.
But I heard people, they was right. They used to, before you had it on online, they were writing down their information.
Oh wow! And calculating who's gonna get what.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's why you learn something on here on the Sideline.
ESPN did a 30 for 30 on fantasy sports. It started in the 90s, I think. Or it might have been before that, but I think it's the 90s when it started to take off, whatever.
Do you think that coincide with the growth of fantasy football? Because you see now ESPN does a marathon to get you started.
Yeah.
For like 48 hours, they just covering fantasy football. Like you got to thought, Brad. What's your first thought?
No, you got to think, man. With introducing fantasy, you have incorporated not only us men, which is majority of the fan base, but you incorporated women. You incorporated kids, like little kids, to do fantasy. Look, like I said, they already got us. Once you bring the women into the game, that just jumps up your revenue and your popularity to a whole nother level, though. Yeah.
And now that's a good point that you bring in. That's a good point that you bring up. That's a good point that you bring up women, because we've been seeing. I want to bring it into the forefront. What happened with Deshaun Watson? That's been something that's been coming to the forefront. How is that going to affect the women? So what's your thought process on that? You think the women going to stick around now that we found? You think it's over? The conclusion's over? Or are we going to ever see any backlash
No, I mean, look, we live in a time of and I'm not taking nothing. What Deshaun Watson did, that's some weirdo stuff. And if women feel some type of way about him, you understand. With that being said, we definitely live in a time now where everybody's extra sensitive. It don't take much to offend anybody now. But what the NFL has created now, it almost like the NFL has created some type of force field around itself. Like I said, you got Ray Rice, Mike Tyson, chicks in the elevator. You got Kareem Hunt shoving a girl like 15 yards away.
Oh, and that 100%. I mean, I thought concussion would be it because we didn't see that. That's not going to do it. I mean, we didn't see that deep. I mean, to be honest, it just don't seem like domestic violence or anything like that is going to be the one that's going to take down the NFL.
Not at all.
So,
Not at all. No.
Okay, I see you shaking your head, Skin. What's your thought process on that one?
We'll say it again on the process on which one again?
What's your thought process on where do you think besides the concussions, you think something like because the first thing that people was the uproar when the Deshaun Watson thing first came and it was 6 games and then the NFL appealed and went to 11 games. It was feared that women, like Ryan was saying, those women that are in the game would now start turning it back on the game. Do you think that will be the case, or you think it's just going to be another story?
I'm pretty sure they lost some female fans to the game because of the Deshaun Watson incident. But we done seen everything under the sun that could possibly happen in the NFL. And like I said, nothing is stopping this locomotive, though, man. It's obvious, though, man. It's no way you can sugarcoat it.
And I agree. I mean, the way just listening to you guys, it's definitely profound in that one. So let me come to you. Let me come to you, Andrew, being a Commanders fan, and you got what would it take for you to not be a Commanders fan? Because y'all have a shaky owner right now. I mean, we've been hearing about how bad the NFL owners. We got a Robert Sarver and now the Donald Sterling NBA, and I'm going to talk about that on our huddle for the NBA. So make sure you stick with the Sideline to the Sweet Sports Podcast. It's more like a show. But you are a fan of the Skins. You was a fan of the Skins before they had Daniel Snyder. Does an owner or anything besides like a Deshaun Watson, y'all dealing with an owner that has created an environment that seemed like, at least from the reports, is similar to what's going on in the Suns. Did that make a difference on you being a fan of the Commanders?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of the team, man. I'm just not a fan of the owner. I wish that the NFL would, to make him sell a team, but it seemed like all the stuff he had been done, he still had the team. So I don't think that he would never, sell a team because, all the stuff he had done, it's nothing. They ain't doing nothing but finding him or nothing like that. They ain't trying to, make him sell a team. So I don't think that we stuck with this guy, man.
The crazy thing is that it seems like the last report I thought would be the one that would really get him. So I want to come to you, Brad. The last report that was from an owner or supposedly happened when he was the owner is that now he's been cutting out other owners or not being able to get money or give the shares that he's been owning. I thought that would be the one that would really get him out of there, but it seemed like he must got some information on everybody else. So it's not a Deshaun Watson, it's not a concussion. You're a fan of the Commanders. Does it make a difference what kind of owner you are that'll change your mind on being a fan or walking away from watching?
I think when it comes to the ownership level thing, I think as far as people who are a fan of the team, I think you would never not be a fan or not watch that team because of the owner. I know from where we live at now, the thing you have the power on is you won't put no money in his pocket and go to his stadium. That's what you can control. And I think when it comes to having an issue with an owner, I think that's the biggest, I guess you want to call it flex a person can use is not going in and buying a $15 thing of beer to put in his pocket. That's really the only power you have. I think the NFL is so strong. You're going to stick with your team no matter what that owner do. You just not going to his stadium probably to give him any of your money. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's a great point. And now I'm going to bring my friendship in this. I'm going to bring you into this, Lawrence Skin Emmons. When is the last time you've been to a when is the last time you've been to a Commanders Redskins football game or even bought a game? When and why have you not been to a game? And when was the last time you've been to a game?
First, I think the last time I've been inside of FedEx Field might have been it might have been RG3 rookie year or the year after that. That's the last time I've been
If people
inside
don't
that
know,
dump,
that is
man.
2012, 2013. That is literally almost 10 years ago. And what's the reason?
It's the owner. I said I would never go back as long as he owned the team. He could move the team name to. I mean, move the stuff to his wife's name. I'm not stepping foot in that dump as long as a Snyder is owning the team, though, man. I'm serious. He been lying to us for so many years, and you putting bad product on the field. Why would I waste my hard-earned money on going to them for us to win 5 games one year, 9 games another year, to stink the next 2 or 3 years after that, buying chicken fingers for $12, buying the Budweiser for 15. They just had a story on. I seen some on was it even TV or social media? We had the highest bid sale. You know that the highest price for a bid is at FedEx Field, though, bruh.
I could definitely believe it. He won't even get no money to Jerry. I can't believe Jerry went for it and didn't get him out of there.
Yeah, they won't let him go. Yeah. He got stuff from the other owners. That's why they won't vote him out, though. Seriously, that's what comes down to.
You know, jokes aside, the reason why I'm bringing it up because I want to see. I'm actually looking. I'm fascinated by. I don't know if there's anything that any fan that's a fan of their football team that can happen besides the football team. I don't think fans really put. We've seen the Kaepernick that came and went. We thought that was people was going to boycott and that was going to come. We've seen concussion actually be a movie, and they settled $3 billion with that. We see. I don't want to get involved. We've seen countless missteps from DVs and things of that nature. So Nate Stroman, you're a young one. You're the young one on the panel. What would be something that you would see that your owner or something that can happen in Seattle that say, man, this is just enough. I can't do it no more. Is it anything?
I think like you said, ownership, maybe. Like I think ownership or just like, something that's not going on with the team. Repeat the question one more time. You asked me just like something.
So the team could be sorry as hell. The team could be sorry as hell, but you'll still be there. But the owner is, he could be in there doing a Robert Sarver. He's pulling down his pants and telling chicks come get it because it's the best they'll ever see. And no, you don't care. You're still gonna be a fan of Seattle Seahawks.
I'm not gonna go to none of the games.
I want to know because it's the rating show.
Probably. Yeah, I think if he's doing all that, I think I'll just be a fan of my fantasy team. At that point, I'll be like, whoever I got quarterback, whoever my quarterback is, that's we'll go for it. And I'll go watch the running backs, and I'll be a fan. I'll be the general manager for my fantasy team. But after that, until they get a new owner, then I'll hop back on the Seahawks. I'll put my little football back up, bring the jerseys out the closet.
But no, you know what? That is hilarious though, because it's a lot of people that don't really care for their teams. They play just because of fantasy. I see you shaking your head, Brad. You got something down for that one? It seems like you got a lot of people that don't even have a team.
No,
and watch names just because of fantasy.
No, and that goes along with what you started with one of your earlier questions as far as football being the king. That plays a part. You got people who are sports gambling, fantasy, and have no allegiance to any franchise at all. All that does is just it move your ratings up. These people are watching just for those things. They can care less about the teams. And guess what?
Players are doing or what the owner doing.
Right. They don't care. And guess what? And the NFL love it because you adding ratings. You just upping their value. You know what I'm saying?
100%. I thought I heard somebody. Was that you, Skin?
That's right. That's revenue. You use that revenue to them. Yeah, that's not. But I also think the NFL has the most, as far as American sports. It's more people tied to their football teams versus any other sport I think we have in the United States. As far as pro sports, not for college, but just pro sports. Like NBA, people like players these days. Unless you come from our generation, like we still like teams for the most. I don't know about you, terms, but we
Not in
us
the NBA.
us normal folks still like teams. You know what I mean?
Only team I like is the 49.
But yeah, but in NFL people still have allegiance to their football team. That's what it is, though.
And what is that? Why is that? I got a theory on that, but I want to hear yours. Andrew, why do you think that people are so connected to their teams in football, unlike any other sport? What is it about football that make you? Because I got a theory about that, but I want to hear some of y'all. Andrew? Why would you think that people so
I
connected to
mean,
their team, regardless of what goes around?
we passionate with with our team. I mean, as far as NBA, I mean, I don't really have a NBA team. I mean, I like certain players, like when Al Iverson played, or like KD. I like KD. You know what I'm saying? Certain players, Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I want a big. I ain't have I'm not a diehard Lakers fan or nothing like that. So, but football is different. You know what I'm saying? You're a fan of the football team. You know what I'm saying?
What is that difference? I want to know what is the difference. Did you watch basketball, right? When you like the fan, you like the team. I watch hockey. I watch baseball, and I want to put me in this. I want to hear from you guys. What is it about football that make you stay to that allegiance with all the smoke that's around football? I mean, especially being a Commander fan, let alone does the NFL got smoke. Your team has a lot of smoke. I mean,
Yeah.
what makes you stay there? I mean, is it the way? What is that? I don't want to cheat you to it, but what do you have that? If you don't, I can go and see if somebody else got me something. What makes you stay there besides just being a fan of it? Is it being tied to your team, being tied to the city that you're from? Because
Yeah.
this team got the Wizards
It's
here. Y'all don't show up for the Wizards like I show up for the Skins.
Nah, sure
The
done.
football team
Nah,
for the Commanders.
nah. I'm Pat. Like I said, I was born and raised with the you know, uh, with the at the time was Redskins, but I was born and raised with that. You know what I'm saying? Up with the team. My family, everybody was like that team at the time. But I was never a Wizards or Bullets fan. Like how
Like you
my
are with the
passion.
Redskins.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
So it's different. I mean, I like certain players that when the Wizards had C Webb or something like that. But nah, I mean, I'm
you're not about to get
passionate.
into no crazy argument with basketball like you probably would with football. Like if a
I mean,
Cowboy fan came in and said something to you, then y'all ooh you
we
gonna
can
you gonna
go
definitely
we go back and forth. I mean, like I go back and forth. With the Jordan and LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Jordan, who better, Jordan or LeBron, or Jordan or Kobe? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But as far as my
but it's
team,
a
my
different type
passion.
of intensity if a
Yeah,
Cowboy fan come in your house and say y'all ain't nothing, y'all gotta play
yeah,
them.
yeah. It's
It's
a difference.
nothing like
It's a
seeing the
difference.
Cowboys and the Commanders, aka Redskins football team play together.
Yeah,
And
it's a
you could be
difference.
not even a fan of either team, but you want to go watch that game with both of those fan bases of the team. I see you shaking your head, Brad. Let me get you in here real quick. What is it about it? I want to know the real essence of it. I keep hearing, it's just I was raised on it. You see the other sports you've been raised on, they here too. The Bullets left from Bullets. They left from Baltimore to come to DC. They've been hit now. They haven't won. They only got one championship. They ain't won 50 games in a long time either. But what is it about the football teams that keep that allegiance for you?
Well, I'm gonna speak for me personally. I can definitely tell you, my first sporting event seeing live was a Redskin game. It was that Super Bowl year. First time going to RFK when they played Detroit Lions. First game of the year, 45-0. That was my first game ever I ever went to, and
Okay.
I think for me, it was the first. It was the first team I actually watched on TV. I didn't watch the Bullets back then. I had no idea who was on the team. I didn't even know what channel they came on at the time. So I think with me, it was just about who I started out my sports life with. I started my sports life out with the Redskins at the time or whatever. So I guess I'm just super loyal to them. It honestly, all the stuff we done been through, I don't think it's nothing they can do that will make me leave, which is crazy because we've been garbage for 30 years.
And if you think about what you're saying, think about it from the NFL. And if I know that, it's nothing
Right.
I can do wrong. I mean, I'll just wait for any scandal to pass by. If you
But
have somebody in your product, this is like blue magic, man. We are just addicted to it like it's blue magic. Go ahead, Brett.
no, what I was going to say was at the same time, that's also our generation. Now, I don't know how old Nate is, but the newer generation, they hop on bandwagons like it's nothing. They have no loyalty to anybody. They will hop on whoever's winning. The number one thing they will hop on is whoever's trendy. If you always see that the Cowboys trending and they ain't been winning just as long as we ain't been winning, they'll hop on the Cowboys because it's trendy. Whatever is the popular thing now, that's what the new age people do. I think us, 80s babies and all of us back in the day, we have loyalty and we'll stick with that team through thick and thin. We don't care who just
It's only in
recently won.
football, though. It's only in football. Like, I mean, it's only in football. I mean, I don't see it. I just don't see the loyalty. Now, you'll see that kind of loyalty. The only kind of loyalty you see it like that with is probably college football. I just don't. Now, in certain franchises that's in major sports, you got Boston Red Sox. Even the Boston Celtics, it seems like it's, unless you're a Bostonian, they probably ain't getting no new people because they haven't been really good since their heyday when they was really good in the 80s. If you think about it, they've been kind of mediocre besides that one year. I mean, those few years when they had 08 and 2009 and 2010 when they was kind of in the contention. But outside of that, it's been mediocre outside the Larry Bird years. So let me get to you, Skin, Lawrence Edmonds. What is it about? Why can't you give up the blue magic called the Redskins, aka Commanders?
I don't know. I just think, honestly, I think Ben, football is the number one sport in the country right now. That might have a lot to do with it. And then, like, piggybacking up on Ryan, the first game I ever seen was the Redskins versus Denver, bro, in the Super Bowl. When Doug Williams marched up and down the field in the second quarter, and the rest was history. That was the first game I ever seen. I was probably like about 7, 8 years old when it happened, bro. And I don't know. I think honestly, football is the closest thing to like unscripted. You know what I mean? Like unscripted TV. It's like it's the best product you got probably out of all the 4 sports. And the season is so compact. It seems like you from September to what? Most of everybody's gone January what now? January 9th.
Before
you cut off how many teams? 20 teams? 18? Yeah, 20 teams, you pretty much gone. So now so the season really is only like 4 months for most of the league. And I think that's why people clamor for it so much, because it's here and it's gone just like that. Like NFL, NBA, I got the Wizards from game 53. They're gonna lose.
Game 53.
Game 65, game 68, game 80. Playoffs and gone till how long now? You know what I mean? I think in the NFL
first round.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but NFL they do a great job of marketing their league too, though. Like I said, they know, but like I said, they done made it also a year-round thing, where they make everything an event now, though, bruh. 100%. Everything from the draft to the combine to damn near OTAs and training camp. You know what I mean?
The schedule release.
The schedule release. Like, come on, man. Like, man, you talk about all the time how they just bullied the NBA off of Christmas the last 2 years, right?
That's 2 years since COVID. They was like, this is our holiday now.
Like they done bullied themselves. Like they said. I mean, like I said to them, I give them kudos for that. But I think Ben is always it's unscripted. It's the best unscripted TV you probably gonna get as right now. Besides some you see on like network TV, whatever.
Let me ask you this, because I want to get to some bold predictions, and I want to get some of your thoughts on. I want to give Ryan Breadhead Wallace his shout out too, because he made one on the last one we did audio. But I want to. Is it the way that the product is set up? You was kind of speaking to that, Skin. You was talking about it's so compact. And you think about the only sport that, if you think about it, we do the NFL like boxing. You literally got 6 days to build up to that one fight.
Mm-hmm. It's an event every Sunday.
That one game. You talk about more the game. You spend 6 days. You spend 6 days and 21 hours for a 3-hour game.
I think about this. So I ain't mean to cut you. Think about this. Think about a show you might watch on TV. Like say it's been over so long. I'm using it as an example. Law and Order. You get 20 episodes for a season, maybe. Compare that to the NBA. It's almost like you're getting 17 episodes that you waited 7 months to get those, bruh.
Yeah,
And that's what it is.
that's another thing. You got that compact, and it seems like what the NFL does a good job of is they tied the team into the city makeup. It seems like the team that's in that city resembles what that team like you don't have like if you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're in Pittsburgh, but they're not trying to be flashy. It kind of reminds them of what Pittsburgh is, a hard hat to it. You got Detroit, you know what I mean?
The Rams don't.
Even with the Rams, they're in LA, you would think it'll be
But the Rams, they flashy, yeah.
and be, to that nature. And it seemed like that sport, for some reason, has a great connection on the way the team is looked at, even with the area. It's like the team makes up the way that the area look. You look at Chicago, it's a gritty town, cold. You look at the Bears with the Bears, you just think of real grit and defense and things of that nature. That might be another side to it. So like you said, it's compact, and they're giving you now 17 weeks, and they're giving you a lot. If you look at it, I think Brave, you was one of the first people who told me to invest in DraftKings, which is if you look at it now, it is going up because this is probably the season where they're getting the most bets in. Yeah. You think that ties in?
Oh yeah, it definitely plays a factor in as far as the stock price or whatever. But like y'all said, and Lawrence made a good point. Like, I think that also helps the NFL. Like you said, their season is much more condensed than the other leagues. And like we talk, like perfect example, when shoes come out, soon as they say they limit it, everybody geeking. But when it's like when they say they got a plenty of stock general release and they got plenty of them, ain't nobody geeking. Everybody just go get them when they want to. So you only got 17 games of this league. You trying to make sure you get every second of it. You know what I'm saying?
The prime example, though, I hate when my woman try to schedule things on a Sunday, though, bro. That's how it is.
That is seriously.
That's serious, though, ain't it?
I am a newfound father with a 4-year-old in the 40s, and I want my Sunday, especially when the 49ers play. If they play at 1 o'clock, look, if my daughter with me, she's going to have to root and holler, too. But I need that. I told her. I'll probably wait for it all week.
I've told her I waited 7 long months for this. Leave me alone.
No, and that is now let me get to the young one because he's out here. I seen him last time I seen him. He was a player. I don't know if I don't want to bust his bubbles. Is that how you feel too? Like, man, you in college, you doing it, you moving around, you Nate Junior Stroman, you Nate Stroman Jr. Are you putting your women to the side when it's football time because you fantasy the waiver wire king, you and all these fantasy leagues, you gamble? When do you put your women to the side for football?
Sundays. I'm right in front of the screen like this every Sunday, 10 a.m. to I go like 10. I watch the little morning games and I watch the afternoon. And about the afternoon, I look at my homework and then I'll do my homework. Then I'll do that. But I'm in the house all Sunday because I need to watch every single of my fantasy players and make sure they're doing good and see who's doing better than my fantasy guys so I can go pick them up off the waiver wire. I'm watching Twitter, seeing who get all the notifications. So Sunday, nobody bothered me. The only person that can bother me.
I'm gonna give you a hypothetical. So if Megan Good came to your door, she knocked on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's Sunday. I want to take you out. We're gonna go to the Cheesecake Factory and we're gonna ride down the coast of 5. But it's gonna be on a Sunday, and it's a nice day outside. She got a nice little sundress with a bikini on under it. Are you gonna stay home, or are you gonna go on that Sunday fun day with Megan Good?
Do I got connection on my phone to watch football?
Good God Almighty!
I might be there, but I'm gonna be on my phone watching football.
You ain't say she gonna give it to me. Nothing. You said, do I have connection on my phone?
Nate, your lineup is set, Nate. Your lineup is set. Your people gonna play.
Lineup is set. You ain't got no.
But I still like to watch my players play. Even this weekend, for instance,
even if Megan Good comes in there she's coming in off of Robin Givens off of body. I mean, off my favorite movie Boomerang, and she coming in there. She just got a trench coat on, and under there is some Fenty Xfinity stuff from Rihanna, but it's a nice piece.
Let
You
me tell you
gonna make sure you watch the Seattle Seahawks with Geno Smith?
let me tell you.
That date. I want to know.
Let me tell you. There was one instance I did go out. It was when Todd Gurley was with the Rams, and I think I was in the playoffs, and some of my friends invited me to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I was like, all right, why not? And I went out, and that's the day Todd Gurley put like 50, and I lost. I was in the playoffs and I lost. So I'm not going back out.
But that was your friends. You can't do that. Ain't Megan good, man. I'm asking about Megan.
Friends,
good.
It don't matter. I have a superstition. I'm gonna lose every time.
Terrence, can I say something? Can I say something?
Oh, come on in, please. I want to get this to everyone.
I'm convinced Nate is the Jerry Jones of fantasy.
He's the Jerry Jones of fantasy.
Yeah.
Why is that? Jerry Jones of fantasy.
Because all that matters to Jerry Jones is his football team. It don't matter what else is going on. It's the football team, though. Yeah.
And he's going to be optimistic about it too, man.
Yes.
Jerry Jones got to be a great father. Got to be a great father, man.
Jerry loved Tony Romo more than he did his own son, I think, man.
Yeah.
It seemed like he might have loved Jason Garrett second most after that for a good hot second. So let me get to you, Mouse.
Steven and whoever.
Let me get to the OG because you're a family man. What would it be for you to turn your wife down? Your wife then put together massages. You know, she didn't got you a nice table at Morton's. She's gonna take you to go get a nice little outfit. I know you go shopping, man. I see the bags and the Louis Vuitton and stuff. She got all of that, and it's the Cowboys versus the Commanders. But that's the day she picked. What you gonna do?
Hey, I don't gotta worry about that because she a fan. She a football fan. So she'll be right there beside me.
Every reason to get around.
She'll be right there beside me, man. Watching that football, Dallas and the Redskins, Commanders.
Man,
so
they got some of y'all hooked on it like the goddamn Blue Magic, man. Y'all would not even give up Megan Good. The young lady would not give up Megan Good.
Unless our season is over with, we like 4-10, then you got me.
Unless your season is over with, it's 4-10. You the whole season 4-10.
I'm saying if we competing, oh man, you gotta wait, baby. I'm sorry, don't even do it.
Nah, making good come through them doors. I'm gone.
Halftime. We can see each other at halftime. I don't need but 4 or 5 minutes.
Don't even have a 4 or 5 minutes. All right, man. All right, this is gonna get it back to it. But I want to appreciate. I thank each one of y'all for jumping on the sideline to the suite. This is the first video huddle. But before I let you go, I want to get a couple bold predictions. So first, my bold prediction. I want a bold prediction on something that now Nate Jr. I want a real bold. All right. I don't want Seattle going to beat the Denver Broncos in week 1, and that was bold prediction. That already happened, all right? I want a bold prediction, and then we're going to come back. Before we go, I want to see who is your Super Bowl representatives and who wins. So I'm going to come to you first, Ryan Breadhead Wallace. What is your bold prediction? Last year, you gave me a bold prediction that Jalen Hurts wasn't going to be this guy. He made it to the playoffs, but he was bad against the Cowboys that day that we did this. What is your bold prediction week 1 into week 2 of this NFL?
I'm gonna stick with what we said during our fantasy little show. I said Carson Wentz gonna get most improved.
Carson Wentz is gonna get most improved. Now, Carson Wentz, maybe it's me. I've never seen a more disrespected quarterback off of 27-7 in my life.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, well, at least Kirk Cousins was getting franchise tag. This man got traded. Like, you know what I mean? Kirk Cousins left and got a guaranteed deal for 3 years with all his money. Carson Wentz is fighting for his life off of 27-7. Is it just me? I didn't. If you didn't know, let me put it this way. If you didn't know, you wouldn't have known he threw for 27-7. You thought it'd have been like 17-20 or something to that thing. So your bold prediction is Carson Wentz is going to be most improved player. Is that a homer pick or is that true?
I'm kind of echoing like what you just said. Like I think with this league, once somebody starts something, everybody just piggybacks off of it. Like you just said, 27-7. Any other quarterback that do that, if Mac Jones did 27-7, they'd be saying he the second coming of Tom Brady.
He probably would have won Rookie of the Year because I know Trevor Lawrence ain't do 27-7.
Right.
He definitely ain't come close to 27-7. Okay, so I'm gonna write that down. He got Carson Wentz as most improved. Do they have an MIP for NFL? Is it an MIP award for the NFL like the NBA? I've never
It's
seen
not?
them before. I don't know.
They got comeback player of the
Oh,
year.
Yeah, they got
comeback.
comeback. They got comeback. Yeah.
Comeback player of the
So he
year.
ain't,
Okay.
he ain't gonna be in the running for that then because he won the injury last.
All right, so matter of fact, since I got you, Skin, come on, let me get in here, Lawrence Skin Evans. What's your bold prediction for this year? We got Carson Wentz's
You talking about team?
MIP.
You talking team wise or player wise?
Or something that's going to happen that's bold. I mean, I know. I mean, before you go, I want to make sure people know. I've been talking to one of my great friends here over 30 years, and he's saying that it's lining up that Carson Wentz.
Oh yeah. I mean, if I want to do that, there you go. Yeah.
And he's number 11. And the last time they had a
Commanders in the Super Bowl.
29-year-old quarterback, and he wore number 11, and he
Super
was
Bowl.
a big guy like this, they went to the Super Bowl. Is that your
Super
bold
Bowl.
prediction? Is that the one you?
There you go. I was going to stick with it, brother.
Oh man, we got Carson Wentz for MIP, and now we got Carson Wentz sending them to the Super Bowl. That is bold.
I'm gonna give
Bold.
you my whenever you're ready for this Final Four. Whatever Final Four, I got you, brother.
All right,
Let me know when you're ready.
We're gonna get to that one too. So let me get to, since we got a lot of Commanders fans, let's go to Seattle. Nate Stroman Jr. What is your look? I don't want to hear nothing about Russell Wilson, and I don't want to hear nothing about the Seahawks now. What is your bold prediction? Now, if you say the Seahawks gonna go to the NFC Championship game, that is bold. I'm talking about
Bold.
That's Coors Light bold. What is your bold prediction, Nate Stroman Jr.?
I think Kirk Cousins wins Offensive Player of the Year.
Kirk Cousins wins Offensive Player of the Year. If that comes true, that means he's my quarterback, and somebody had a chance to say something about me going back-to-back with back-to-back quarterback, and I'll bring your A game. Why do you think?
I hope you put money on that.
Yeah, I should.
Why do you think that Kirk Cousins will win Offensive Player of the Year? Is it because you have Justin Jefferson as your wide receiver in fantasy, or do you truly believe that Kirk Cousins will be Offensive Player of the Year? What is your reasoning behind that, Nate Stroman Jr.?
My reasoning behind that is because look, they got the new Rams coach over there. I watched the game till probably like halftime, and there were 3 wide receivers they ran. Kirk Cousins looked really good throwing the ball to my fantasy player Justin Jefferson, and they just ran Green Bay out the stadium. That game was over by halftime. They put Jordan Love in the third quarter.
Okay,
So that offense looks unstoppable.
So we got Carson Wentz MIP. We got Carson Wentz taking the Commanders in his first year to the Super Bowl. Now then we're gonna come to you, Andrew Mousy Green, another family member. I need something bold. Now we got two bold Commander predictions. Are you gonna be the third?
I just want to say this. I hope that the 2 bold positions that they just said they come true. But
I bet you do.
But I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with the coach. I'm gonna go Ron Rivera, Coach of the Year.
So you really did what I thought you would do. So you made it 3 in a row. You're gonna just go Commander. So now we got Commanders MIP. We got Carson Wentz taking them to the Super Bowl, and Ron Rivera is gonna win Coach of the Year. Somebody should put a parlay together and call it the Commanders Wishing Parlay Commanders list right here. They might can get some money off of that. I don't know. Carson Wentz can't get comeback player of the year, so that's not one. But Super Bowl, we got to look up the Commanders. What's their odds to get to the Super Bowl right now? And Ron Rivera for Coach of the Year. Man, that is definitely blue magic all over again. So before we go, I want to first and foremost thank each and every one of y'all for being a part of the Sideline to the Suite. Another episode for the Huddle. This is the one, the state of the football. So before we go, I want to ask you one last question. Who do you have representing the NFC? And who do you have representing the AFC? And who do you have winning it all? Now, this does not have to be a bold prediction. This is what you think is going to happen. Not no wishing on a star like we got this MIP and to the Super Bowl and Ron Rivera Coach of the Year. What do you think, without your fandom, where do you think you get to go to and who and why? So I'm going to go to you first, Ryan Breadhead Wallace. Who do you think will be representing the AFC in the Super Bowl?
I think Buffalo gonna get over that hump. I don't think Kansas City gonna be there this year. We ain't gonna have. I don't think we're gonna have another Bengals type year where that Cinderella team gonna come out the blue type of thing. I don't think that's happening this year. I
So
think
you got Buffalo.
I got
Okay.
Buffalo going, and I think I'm a kind of piggyback off
Do
of
it.
what.
Do it. I'm waiting for it. I'm just waiting for the first.
No. I ain't gonna go where you think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna piggyback off of what Jerry Jones said. I think Minnesota Vikings gonna represent the NFC.
Jerry Jones. If y'all don't know who Jerry Jones is, that is Nate Stroman Jr. from the Sideline to the Suite. So you think the Minnesota Vikings with Kirk Cousins is going to the Super Bowl?
Listen,
the NFC?
Green Bay is not a threat anymore. That's done.
After one game. Now, I want y'all to know we're taking this show live from the Inconvenient Truth LLC studios. And Ryan Breadhead Wallace just said Aaron Rodgers, who now takes shrooms and he cuts his hair like he's off of the Keanu Reeves, the Matrix, is not a threat to Kirk Cousins. No. Skip Bayless is going to have a fit with you saying something crazy like that. Well, again, he don't like Aaron Rodgers, but he definitely don't like Kirk. So you saying Kirk Cousins is going to win the NFC and Josh Allen is going to send his team, the Buffalo Bills. So you got the Bills versus Vikings. Now, who wins it all? Bills or the Vikings?
I mean, at this point, I think it's the Bills. It got to be the Bills.
That is the betting favorite. Everybody's saying Bills, Bills, Bills. And a wise man once told me, when you hear something all the time, go the other way. So we got Bills versus Vikings. All right, I'm gonna put a bet on that at the end. All right, you see, I'm gonna come to. Let's go, Nate Stroman. Who do you got for the AFC? Represent the AFC, and who's representing the NFC in the Super Bowl?
AFC. I got the Bills.
The Bills again.
Bills, yeah.
Man, did they look that good around? Yeah. Everybody, Bills. Okay, so far 2 Bills. And what's your NFC?
NFC, man. It's not that many. I think I'll go with what he said, Vikings.
Okay. You going to Minnesota Vikings too?
Yeah.
Is it because you got Jefferson?
Yeah.
Okay. At least you're honest. I can definitely take your honesty. So we got 2 Bills versus Vikings from our panel. And who do you think wins? Do you take the Bills again?
Yeah, the Bills. Yeah.
You got the Bills. We got 2 Bills. Okay, I'm definitely not going to put no money on that one. All right, so thank you for that, Nate Stroman, being a part of the Huddle, a.k.a. the Huddle for the NFL. Now, let me come to you. We're going to go to OG last. Lauren Skin Edmonds, I need it good. Who is your AFC and NFC participants in the Super Bowl?
Buffalo and Washington.
Buffalo and Washington. That is something we've seen before. He is sticking to his guns. If you don't know, I want everybody to know, every person I've seen in the Washington, D.C. area, I've been telling them that my friend told me that y'all have a 29-year-old quarterback with the number 11. And last time you had that in the DMV, it was in the RFK, and it was named Mark Rippon. And
sometimes it was Buffalo we beat, brother. I can't make this movie up, brother. You know what I mean?
It, man. He is bringing it
on. I'm just following the trends that we've got from the last 2 years, man. You've seen 2 quarterbacks go to 2 different teams, and they won Super Bowls, right? That was Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford. They're gonna be 3 in a row.
Oh, he's putting Carson Wentz,
that was coming,
Stafford, and Tom Brady. Man, woo, the blue magic.
Oh no, I'm not listening. I'm not putting.
They are not cutting it down at all.
Nobody.
They are giving it 100% pure blue magic.
Oh, I'm saying I'm not saying I'm not putting one like that, but I'm just we saying it 2 years in a row.
I just heard you say the last 2 quarterbacks that won it that switched teams was Matthew Stafford and Tom Brady. So it sounded like he was kind of putting.
They did. Absolutely.
All right, we gonna that might get you some money.
I don't like the words you're using, but man.
All right, so let me get this. So you got Bills versus Commanders. Go ahead, finish it off. Who wins it?
Hey, who wins it? I'm gonna have to go with Washington.
The Commanders win it all. Now, this is not a bold prediction, y'all. We said we trying to get a realistic one. We got Bills.
This is not bold prediction.
This is not a bold prediction. So, y'all, if you hear this on the sideline to the suite, go put your money on it.
Can I switch my NFC team?
Can you switch your NFC team? What you trying to get?
Come on over, brother.
Who are you switching it to?
You know who?
The 5-time Super Bowl champion, a.k.a. the San Francisco 49ers. Is that who you switching it to?
No, I'm putting to the number one in the NFC West right now. You can make it down. The Seahawks? Yeah.
Oh, man. With Geno Smith?
Yeah,
oh, my goodness. So you going Bills and the Seahawks?
Yep, Cinderella team.
Paul Adams. Oh, and y'all about to all right, Bills and Seahawks. Okay, I'm jotting this down because I'm gonna put a nice little wager for this. Whoever wins, who gets the closest. I don't think neither of these. Everybody got the Bills, so we're gonna go to the last OG, the OG of all OGs on this panel. He was watching football when they had the leather helmets. Andrew Mousy Green, tell me who will represent the NFC and the AFC in the upcoming Super Bowl.
I'm gonna go with Lars. What he said, Washington, right? But I'm
hold up.
Go with the hold on.
Right here. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
I'm not gonna go with the Bills because everybody going with it. So I'm gonna say the Chargers.
The Commanders versus the Chargers.
And
now, is the Blue Magic in there, or is it your home team? You're hoping on a prayer, but this is not a bold prediction, right? This is a real life prediction you got here.
Yeah,
you got
Chargers. I think Chargers got a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Versus, I mean, I'm more worried about the Commanders with a chance, but I feel you. Okay, you got the Chargers versus Commanders, and who do you have winning it? Andrew Mousy Green. Who do you have winning between the Chargers and the Commanders?
I can't go against my team, so I'm gonna say Washington. Man.
There it goes. When you need the Blue Magic always shows up. You don't cut it. You keep the name of it. It's the Blue Magic.
Hey, we ain't letting you off the hook. Who you going with, bro? No, nah, you ain't getting out of here. Who you going with? Hey, you slick, man. You slick, brother.
Host, man. I am just the host. I want to thank each and every one of you lovely guys for coming out and spending a Friday night here at the Inconvenient Truth LLC studios. I appreciate you being part of the huddle. I am just the host to facilitate the questions. To those that would like to be a part of the Sideline to the Suite, you can email us at sideline2thesuite@gmail.com, or you can hit us at 443-431-9286. Any last words from my panelists before I let you go? Ryan,
I need your prediction, brother.
Junior,
yeah, predictions. We need yours.
You got Andrew.
Hey, give me a prediction, man. Come on, man.
Because they asking. Since you asked, all right. Since you asked me, 10 years ago, it was a quarterback that was looking to get paid, and he was in the great state of the Charm City, and he played a team in 2012 to 2013. I'm going for a repeat. I'm saying the 49ers versus the Baltimore Ravens live in the Super Bowl in 2013 in February. Lamar Jackson versus Trey Lance, a.k.a. Jimmy G. But Jimmy G will come off the streets and win number 6 for the 5-time, all-time. Don't you press that? Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that was the right one.
The 5-time Super Bowl champion. I got the Baltimore Ravens versus the San Francisco 49ers. Now, do you want to know who wins?
Who wins?
Let me write this down.
Next time on the Sideline to the Suite. All right. Next time on the Sideline to the Suite, you'll find out who my winners is. Make sure you subscribe, share, and like our page. Till next time, peace and love to everyone. And we're gonna leave you with the hottest theme song out there.
Sideline to the suite, players and executives meet, talking about dubs and defeats. Sideline to the suite. From sideline where the players at to executives up in the suite, talking about practice. Say I'm heat, playoffs, they can't compete. I want winners that wanna win, fall down, get back up again. Talking sports, gon' tell a friend about sideline to the suite. Sideline to the suite, players and executives meet, talking about dubs and defeats. Sideline to the suite. Sideline to the suite.
Damn it.
wrote it down.
Sweet.
Sweet, 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 sweet.
I wrote it down.